Number one is now underway here on Clubhouse.
So Scilla's Guerrillas starting off on defense, right off the bat is an inherent just good. It's a boon. I mean, it can only help you, seeing as all maps are skewed to defenders, at least as far as statistics go. And Clubhouse is one of those maps where hard breacher bans really, really damage the attack. And when you bring double hard breacher onto any site, it evens things up, specifically Habana and Thermite. It evens things up for attackers. Whereas if you were to remove Habana like they have, now you have to deal with the time it takes to open things up as Maverick. Things just take longer. It's slower process. So I would say one hell of a ban from Scilla's Guerrillas. And I can only imagine the Thatcher ban is going to lead into a Bandit ban, because I can't imagine. Oh, well, granted, Maverick's available.
Well,
so.
there's no point in bringing in banning Bandit if Thatcher's in the play, because now Church Wall is just it's going to be so difficult to get through. And of course, we know that Church Wall is kind of the standard way of doing things. Now they got to figure, well, we're going to push main hall, and this is basement, of course, right? The site that makes the most sense there. Also, there's no Thatcher to thatch that wall away upstairs at server cache, so that's going to be a lot more difficult. But they will still have two hard breachers, but the effectiveness of Bandit is probably too much to give away to a ban at this point in time. It's a little bit of a scary prospect, I think.
So when you ban Habana as a defender, immediately as attackers, you're saying, okay, we're bringing Maverick Thermite. You're always bringing double hard breachers on this map regardless. But not banning the Bandit, or excuse me, this makes CCTV defense just that much harder, because that wall can't be Bandit tricked. You'll have a Maverick opening it up. It just complicates defense from here on in, and that is where the double hard breacher plays a role. Whether you have Habana and Thermite using both of their gadgets on each side of the wall at the same time, so Bandit can't get both. Whether you have Maverick opening it up slowly and Thermite opening. Double hard breacher for this site brings this within reason. So that's why throughout this game, I will eat my words if we ever don't see Maverick and Thermite at the same time.
All right. Well, I'm going to remember that. Okay. And I'm going to write all your words down on paper.
I would be flabbergasted, flim-flammed if we it's gonna happen. All right, it's gonna happen.
I concur. Just because that dual hard breach ability is so strong. Of course, Habana being gone, you having to kind of contend with Maverick to get the hatches open, most likely, and the work needed to be done in such close proximity to said hatches puts that Maverick at risk once he starts opening sight lines up. So here we go. Round is now underway. So bullets back and forth. Doing a little bit of research. Not a lot of roaming, as it looks like a full 5-man turtle downstairs here for SG. And
I do want to comment on something a little interesting to me. So they banned Habana. And, you know, a hard breacher ban makes sense. To not ban Maverick on defense, though, really has my head scratching a little bit, because your defensive game plan was to bring Kaid. And Maverick just ignores it. You don't need Maverick. I'm sorry. Maverick just allows you to forego the electrical. You don't have to worry about it. Whereas you could Kaid trick, quote unquote, a Habana Excaros. So it is a little interesting to me that they would do that and still opt to bring Kaid. Because as you see right here, it doesn't, even if Electroclaw was thrown on that hatch, it doesn't matter. He'll just keep opening it up.
No, sir, it does not. Some pre-fires will go down through Moto, but only damage being done will be done by the goo mine as a drone gets killed. Also, we saw Merc on the other side holding an angle down blue. So bullets going back and forth, a little bit of damage done, but not being too aggressive. Now, the foot of Kaid being exposed to that hallway. Did he see it? He will pre-fire it. And now down through the Maverick hole in the hatch, some damage will be done to Mex, but not enough to do much at all. He'll back into Church. Try and hold it. See if he could maybe see Maverick try and get to work yet again at that hatch. A grenade will go flying into Moto. However, Mex has been driven out back into Church and hold that angle up through the hatch. He'll get the first one. Gurmy getting taken out, and that will be the Maverick gone before he can get that hatch open. very unfortunate. I'm not sure if he was able to get the kitchen hatch. I know he was working on it earlier. Either way, that's one of those all-important, as Manpant said, hard breachers off the board right away.
Yeah, and we see Art here opening up any angles for himself, but Loading is covering it extremely well. And that was to get rid of the mute jammers. And now, well, they still don't have them down. And it's just going to be a gunfight right now for OC as they hope to win absolutely anything. Oasis starts things off with a kill on Mex, who fell the Maverick earlier. We do see Oasis just start to walk in, but Abunai with that positioning, and again, that wall not being opened up gives him the advantage. Temper runs right on through Fultz, and will take him out. It was not unable to get Mark, who gets the refrag. But a 1v3 just not gonna happen. Scylla's Guerrillas close out the round extremely well.
Very, very, very strong defense to start things off here on Clubhouse, and that's kind of what needed to happen. Now, I don't, you know, people talk about the statistics of basement defense on Clubhouse and how it's defensive-sided. For some reason, the last few times that I've seen this happen, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen attackers be very successful, even though the defenders are successful on sites elsewhere on the map. And, of course, we see what they say we should expect, which is maybe this might be a slightly easier site to defend than really any other site, and that could be argued one way or the other. But for a team, or for two teams that are spread so wide as far as standing is concerned, exactly what Scylla's Guerrillas needed to do right off the bat. They needed to get a win, and they got it, and they got it extremely convincingly with that, you know, 4-1 at the end. No need to even really do much except for hold your angles, and all those angles were being held by multiple gun barrels simultaneously. So great job to start it off. Let's see if they can continue this successful streak upstairs.
And it's Gym Bedroom and not CCTV. So this is what I was curious about. And this is what I was mentioning before. When essentially when you're going up against a Maverick, this defense of CCTV, that wall that Jaeger is currently running to, is just so difficult. When you basically just give up this wall when you're up against a Maverick, it's just so difficult to go up against. So the improv plan to go over to bed really makes a lot of sense to me. We see currently Scylla's Guerrillas setting up for a lot of risks, it would seem, with Mex getting ready to spawn peek outside a kitchen. And yeah, so that's the influence of Maverick right off the bat. We see them going to Gym Bedroom over CCTV, which is some teams' first choice, if not their direct second.
I like what Scylla's Guerrillas is doing. They got a little bit aggressive. They're roaming a little bit. They maybe try and pull a peek out on somebody. I like that they have the confidence to attempt that. And, you know, again, we'll talk about it more than once throughout this matchup, I'm sure. But with the point difference and you know, the public opinion about how this match is going to go down, typically when there's that much of a difference between teams, you expect the team that is not favored to be maybe a little bit more timid. I like to see SG fluid on defense, fluid on the roam, just like this. Roman duck. Who doesn't love a Roman duck, right? You got that ACOG. He's going to run out. He's not going to find anybody because they're too far up on top of the roof. Maverick, meanwhile, working on the bottom of this wall while simultaneously getting electrocuted. That doesn't seem to bother him too much, as he'll get a little bit of a view slit cut into it. And on the other side, that wall will get thermited open. So a lot of sight lines now for the attackers. About half the round gone, but still plenty of time for them to find and do something here. As Nugs, he'll kick things off. The beautiful headshot on a Merc, so IQ, gone.
And Scylla's Guerrillas looking nothing but deadly here. Obviously, their plan was to ban Habana, and they planned for this Maverick choice, and they're showing just how well they prepared for this match. We did see a little bit of on fire as Temper is set ablaze, and it will be knocked out of the round. Nugs taken very low, but with a doc on your team, you know, anything is possible as far as health is concerned. And OC still have yet to get this jacuzzi wall up despite having a Maverick, and we do see the upside down rappel. Looks like it will be the successful, maybe not going up quite yet. Fultz walking into construction, takes out Nugs, and he's in prime position to get the mute, but the mute rotated just in time. Abunai, if he peeks though, is going to be a dead man. Approaching 40 seconds of the match, we see that jacuzzi wall being opened, a 3v3 with health advantage going to OC.
Come on, peek on out of there. You can do it. He'll throw a firebolt down. Bandit, he'll throw some bullets, but some bullets will be sent in response. But here comes the diffuser. Oasis planting uncontested. They know he's planting. They hear it. A C4 will miss, and it'll go down. And a disaster, as now Scylla's Guerrillas will have to do the retake. A lot of the attacking squad going outside to safety. Fultz with the cleanup on a not loading. Oasis onto Abunai, and yeah, not a fantastic situation for the defenders. They really messed up letting this plant go down. They did not have that area covered, and they will pay for it. But here comes Doc. He'll actually get onto the defuse. Can they hear it? He'll pull off and he'll get one, but that will not be enough as two more remain. Oasis will clean it up on the mechs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one apiece.
Pretty convincing, too. Despite OC taking all that time throughout the round, they still looked firm in their decision-making. They executed well. It was not a defense that went... the first kill that Nugs had onto Merc was essentially Merc just peeking. So other than that opening pick, it was a really rough round for SG. And we talked about it before. With Maverick being available, that's what's kind of sent them over to Gym Bedroom, as they felt their success rate would be a little bit higher in delaying. Here onto CCTV as we go now, there's pretty much only one wall of an importance. There, they had to open up CCTV wall and jacuzzi wall, so that's what explained all that time taken by OC. Here, they only have to open up that CCTV wall, so I can't imagine a lot of these rounds on the second floor are going to go in favor of not just Scylla's Guerrillas, but of the defenses in general, because of one operator and one operator alone. I mean, it completely prevents bandit tricking. It, at the best, it just delays your Maverick putting down his blowtorch. And it's the reason why Maverick's ban rate skyrockets when you get to Clubhouse.
Yes, but we'll see him this time around, and I expect to see the default take with him taking out the bottom of that wall, preventing any sort of tricking. There's not a lot that we've seen that's different on this particular site. We'll see somebody up on the second tier there in garage, perhaps. Most likely with an ADS to protect him. We'll see Maverick cut that line, and then we'll see them try and take it that way. Maybe a little bit of push in construction. But that remains to be seen. It wouldn't surprise anybody if that's exactly what we see. And oh, just a missed through the front door. Peek there by Bandit at the bottom of the stairs. Nobody will connect, though. Everybody will remain safe. As the attackers now just kind of getting to work on exactly where we said they would. Jeremy will take about a third of his health off as the batteries will get shot out to the newly discovered holes. We'll have actually somebody underneath with the hole open through the floor, primed and ready, if needed, to throw a nitro cell. But in the meantime, just a lot of discovery. Only a minute off the board, though. Plenty of time. And, you know, there's no resistance of any kind, no runouts, no peakiness coming out from the defense. Right when I say that, Temper, he'll go pop a shot through the window. No dice. Fultz, he'll open things up, though, getting Mex off the board, and Kaid now gone.
Holy crud, what a setup from OC. As soon as that wall opened up, you saw Fultz set up the site immediately, and they just ran amok through all of Scylla's Guerrillas at the moment. You see that plant going down. It's effectively a 3v3 for the time. Fultz is doing so much work on this Capital, and he will put things to 4-1, and this is just SG melting at the seams. It'll be Nugs to deny the plant for at least a little bit, but without that yokai drone, it's going to be a tough one. Effectively a 1v1 now, a 2v1, as Nugs will have to work his way out of the post-plant scenario. It'll be Oasis peeking around the bomb. He'll take some damage from Nugs, but he'll smartly back off in a reposition. And we do see Gurmy here just on rappel, and he'll be holding angle. This is going to take some ridiculous shots from the Echo. Shots will come through from Gurmy, as you just saw before in his positioning. And this is Nugs just trapped in a corner. Gurmy will finish things off. We have to talk about how masterful that was from OC. So
that was fantastic.
We talked about it. Maverick is going to get this wall open despite your bandits. It doesn't, your shock wires, excuse me. It doesn't really matter. The wall gets opened up. The second it's opened up, you saw Fultz put down 2 smokes and he was inside rafters immediately. Knocks off the defender and rafters, and now they have full control of the site, and it's just a plant from there. That was a wonderful call from OC, but an even better execution from each of their members. And credit where credit's due, Nugs did his dang best to salvage that. I mean, with half a second more, he gets a headshot on that Maverick, and we're looking at a completely different story.
I was excited to see what would happen. I mean, we're in a 1v4 and the diffuser is planted. How much of a chance does Nugs have? But all of a sudden, boom, boom, 2 headshots. It's a 2v1 now. There's still a little bit more than half the diffuser time left to work with. Now Nugs might be in a winnable situation. Sure, he's got to make it happen. He's got to hit every single shot. He's got to do everything perfect. And not only that, he's got to do it fast. But unfortunately, OC was just outside on the stairs in too strong of positions to give Nugs the shot to win it out. So here we go, round number 4. After finding success downstairs on basement, SG will lose 2 straight to OC, and OC just kind of storming into the building once their entry preparations have been done, and really just winning gunfights.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about how difficult Maverick's going to make those top 2 floors, and those top 2 floors were both won by the offenses, and the plant went down in both of them. So one operator, the ban phase of Clubhouse, is why I love it so much. The ban phase of Clubhouse affects how the game goes just as much as the setups and how literally the 3 minutes from setup to gameplay go. It's unbelievable how much the ban phase affects this. And I do want to point out, through those first 3 rounds, we saw Kaid every single round, and we saw Bandit in 2 of the 3. Mex just gets trampled by Merc with distraction from Fultz. But yeah, Kaid, Kaid and Bandit over and over again, despite a Maverick being on the board, and it only really worked once because you saw Gurmy peeking. Other than that, though, it has been proven to be slightly ineffective, I think is a fair way to put that.
Yep. A 1-2 punch from not loading, and Temper will be met right back with a Fultz 2-piece. He will shut down that notion of a comeback by the roaming SG members. And now one trapped in the closet. He'll try to peek out, but no, they are ready for it. Some pre-fires will happen. He'll throw a smoke, but it will not delay it. No, Fultz will go down. He is blood hungry right now with 3 in a row. And unfortunate for SG is now only 1. Again, Nugs remains in a 1vx situation. He found 2 out of the 4 in the last round. But can he find the 3 now to win it out? He will get the yokai shot without being able to stop the plant. Or will he stop the plant? It looks like perhaps Oasis maybe just pulled off of it, but he will begin it again. He hears the plant going down, and it will get planted. Fultz is going to be holding a very tight angle. He'll find 1. Oasis will get taken down. He'll take the little precious time that he has to see if he can get some information on that yokai drone. We got Gurmy holding an angle on down the hallway. He might not be able to get the shots up, but he will certainly see if Echo makes it into church. Fultz will finish it off with the 4K LMG. Fultz, what a round from OC.
Holy crud. Yeah, Fultz is going Super Saiyan throughout these 4 rounds. It's not even that round. I mean, that round he picked up the physical proof, but what he's been doing, and this is not even just Fultz. I've seen more often than not, all teams switch to the M249, excuse me, with that new sight available thanks to Gridlock, the cross. I've seen so many teams just switch to that LMG now, and it's they've been going nuts with Capitao entry, essentially. So more or less, this is a lineup we have seen from teams where it's IQ and then the Maverick in place of maybe Zofia or Ash. But Capitao is just going to continue to be a mainstay, not only because of that specific scenario, but the changes he's receiving next season. I don't know if you've seen them, but the damage reduction, the increased size, and his bolts and the area of effectiveness, in my opinion, Capitao's strength is only going to increase, and I can't even imagine what his pick rate is going to be, and to the point where he might get banned out coming next season, just based on how much he's played now and how much better he might become. So we see another church defense, which should come to absolutely no surprise. Second floor is going to be a terror throughout this game for any defending team, unless you land some well-placed shots or you have a setup that doesn't really involve relying on your hard breach. An interesting setup from Loading as he came running out. And something to talk about too was why I mentioned Mex was popping off last match day. And here, we don't really see Loading picking up the slack like we're used to. Mex picks up the kill onto Merc. Granted, it was a team effort with not Loading, our top pick. But it's still, not Loading is not carrying the weight that we are so far accustomed to him doing.
Merc, you can't miss a shot like that, buddy. I know he had 2 people to contend with, but he got the bullet started before they did. Wasn't able to finish it off. Been able to come in and take out the stoppage there on the walls. Or actually, I don't think there is anything to stop that, but I think he was just making extra sure, but that's utility gone. So, hey, more power to the defense. But yes, 5v4, still plenty of time for the attackers to make something happen. And they're going to have to. They didn't lose too much utility with that Ash off the board. Sure, the ability to maybe open up a little bit of soft destruction. But hey, he got that buck, and there he is, getting started, tearing up that kitchen floor. See if he can get an easy pick. And right as I say that, Oasis will find one onto Abenai in dirt. He'll get 2. Finding one in the dirt tunnel. He's down.
What?
He's actually on site right now. Did he just straight drop the hatch like a beast? I don't know. Maybe we'll never know. Not Loading, though. He'll get a return fire down onto Fultz. So it's a 3v3, but a little bit of sight control, a lot of sight control, actually, for the attackers here.
What good use of information from OC. It's like, hey, no one's in Arsenal, and there's one in dirt. Oasis just took it as the opening, and full control right now of Arsenal as Gurmy opens things up as well as Art, and this is looking more and more like OC going to a 4-1 standing right now in this battle right now with Scylla's Guerrillas. And Loading hears it, but Art hears him first. And 4-1, OC. So we had this discussion earlier where Scylla's Guerrillas on defense first. Defense is just so nice on this side. This entire map. Defense is really, really nice. It's 4-1 for attackers right now, and you got to imagine that is in large part due to the fact that Maverick is not banned. Now, I could get made fun of all you want for that, but Maverick not being banned basically eliminates the effectiveness of the second floor sites, and that has taken a lot of the wind out of the sail for these defenses. We're going to see it right now. So keep an eye on the effectiveness of Maverick. Okay, Gurmy. Well, either way, CCTV is our site. No Maverick. If defense win this, just saying.
Here's the thing. Okay, that's your theory, right? You're the Maverick man. Here's my theory. OC's just straight up outplaying everybody right now. They're going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they dropped in. He had full sight control. Right? Won those 2 gunfights, cleared out the only resistance in there, and then guess what? Hey guys, come on down. The coast is clear. The water's warm. We can put the diffuser down. Or heck, we can go for kills because we're 2 men up at this point if we want to. We're 2 men up, 2 rounds up. What do we got to lose? Right? So they were just as comfortable as you could possibly be hanging out downstairs. Now, Scylla's Guerrillas, the only round that they won was downstairs. Instead of going back down, they'll opt to go up to cash room, the one site where when it was time, or when the round was ending, when the diffuser went down, it was a 4v1 situation. Not sure if I agree with this, but actually this might turn out to be their benefit because guess what? There's no Maverick on the attacking side. So it all comes full circle, but no, Max peeking out the window. Doc ACOG, baby, finally. We'll find some action, and that will be Fultz, who we've seen go bananas this game on several occasions off the board in the first 15 seconds.
So we have 4 plants in a row for OC, in large part due to how well Fultz sets up his team. And without Fultz, this is just going to be a rough go of things right now for OC. And you mentioned it, no Maverick. So these shock wires are going to be that much more effective without Thatcher being on the board. So that's going to be the storyline going into it. We do see Ying being picked up by Gurmy. However, there's only so much you can do with Ying, especially when you pretty much only have one entry point, at least for now. Getting these teams setting up, loading still on the roam, and when you're up as many members when you're up a member in general, it makes roaming just that much more comfortable. You don't have to worry about an incredible amount of flank watchers. You can pretty much call your own game. I mean, we see him shredding apart all of OC's information. So for the moment, majority of OC's info is just the fact that they know they're roamers. We see loading take out Merc on the frag, and, well, 5v3 advantage. Things are looking up for SG.
Looking up indeed, and like you said, they're struggling to get that wall open. Now they are, I guess, forced to go through these choke points, which are now being held by all of the defense hanging out and watching said angles. They hear a little bit of activity going on by construction. They'll see that ADS go off, take out one of those grenades. We'll also have one hiding behind the bomb, looking out the window, but not the same OC we saw last round with the aggression, and the skeleton key will come out. I'm not sure if he knows there's somebody right around the corner, but no, not loaded. We'll get the angle as the Candela comes out. Gurmy will go down. He does know there's somebody behind the corner. He'll pre-fire. Art will get one onto Mex. 2v4. They'll push into side. It's all or nothing now. Oasis, he'll find one, but not loading. He'll stop the bleeding. 1v3. Oasis, he'll find two now. 1v2, and can he win? He's got plenty of health. We got Jaeger. We got Bandit. Now he'll go for the plant, but yes, Jaeger can see it. A beautifully placed C4 will end it all. SG, I don't know if it was luck, skill, or a combination of the both, but they will pick the perfect site for No Maverick, and they will execute flawlessly to win their second round of this matchup.
All right, so I ate my own words. Maverick wasn't brought. But on the flip side of things, them not bringing Maverick is a large proponent as to why that just failed.
I was going to say,
face.
I think that just gives merit to your theory.
I mean, they tried to construct. I saw what they were trying. They said they determined that they're just going to push from construction, which is, you know, fine and dandy. It was just extremely well played by the roamers that game, especially not loading with those two crucial picks, one onto Merc right off the bat, and of course, Gurmy was about to pop off as Ying if he had not gotten that kill through the hatch. So, well, good positioning from the Jaeger resulted in a pretty comfortable win for SG. But granted that they only won 2 rounds on defense. For a map like Clubhouse, that might not be enough. And for a team like Organized Chaos, that certainly, I wouldn't say certainly, but that is 90% not enough. I'm fairly confident that
90%
OC,
not enough. Hey, 80% of the time it works.
Not gonna happen
every time.
It's not gonna happen. This is going to be such an uphill battle. These attack rounds need to be flawless. I like the way they're starting off, though. Their lineup makes a ton of sense. It's effective for site pushes, so there's certainly, I'm not saying there's no hope, but the fact that basement alone exists means it's going to be a tough time for them. I mean, yeah, this is just gonna be an uphill battle that they're not looking forward to. As far as OC is concerned, this is a pretty basic setup from any team. We've seen Art on Kai before. We've in fact seen this exact lineup from them on basement before. So this is clearly what they're comfortable with, what they are accustomed to going, and something they've learned to execute well. We see that deployable shield inside that doorway, preventing any just sneak roundabout that Merc pulled off prior on attack. So we see how much that's tripping up SG at the moment. However, Maverick will put it down, and that will more than likely back Merc up. But no, he's just going to take the fights. He'll pre-fire a bit, be covered by his teammates, but whole lot of utility for a whole lot of nothing right now as Merc escapes with his life.
Yeah, the frag grenade will get ADS right as the team flash comes out. And a good chunk of wasted time. Minute and 10 seconds gone for the attacker. So job well done. Note, and again, time waste, it should be the priority if you are the attacker. Gurmy will be holding an angle underneath onto the Maverick hole. Maverick will begin again, cutting that hatch wide open. Gurmy will decide that the hatch is too far damaged to attempt to stay there any longer. Buck now will get to work on that kitchen floor. I was going to say there's kind of a lack of a nitro cell on the side of the defense. They've got the mute, but that's about it. And it looks like the thermite rather, he'll get to work on that kitchen hatch. So I believe all hatches open now. Still one exothermic charge left to attempt to open something, perhaps Church. That is muted though, so perhaps not, unless they can somehow get a grenade over the top, and for some reason there wouldn't be an ADS. And some shots through the floor, but Gurmy, before he could get the bullets off, Gurmy will detonate the C4. He also sent some shots up through the floor, but they will not connect as some shots are returned. But he'll still hold that angle, a very, very close angle, and just a lot of vertical gunplay going back and forth.
I don't know what it is about the SMGs 11, but they give every British operator so much confidence to peek everything. I mean, we've seen these SMGs 11 peek kitchen hatches, peek into blue. It doesn't matter. Look at, he's just bring it on. Just take on the fight. We do see so many members of SG so low, but mechs even things up 4-4. Good positioning for the glass. However, with time ticking down, it only plays in OC's hands, and you see it here. They're just falling by the wayside, and there it is. SG will fall 5-1 to OC, successful Church defense. However, now we go upstairs, presumably for 2 rounds, unless OC pull out bar, which they've done before.
Nobody does.
Nobody does, but they do, and they have before. So maybe, no. Yeah. I'm not surprised that we're not seeing bar, but with Maverick introduced, you need to get a little bit more creative on these CCTV defenses. That's a mouthful.
CCTV defense.
Yes,
say that 5 times fast.
I literally can't do it.
Oh. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to embarrass myself. But yes, here we go. CCTV room, cash room upstairs, just like you said. And like I was going to mention that bar may not be so out of context here. I mean, they're up 5-2. OC is OC, and they have been OC all season. And Scylla's Guerrillas not having much success this season so far. Perhaps they might have said, hey, maybe we'll take this opportunity to not show off some strats that we have in the bank. Maybe we could go to bar and try to win it. Try to win it in some way. That, you know, that way nobody else can get intel on us, right? But nope, they'll play it quote-unquote safe. They'll take it to a more preferred site. But here comes the Maverick, as Man Pants has been saying, must happen if you want a chance at winning an attack on CCTV. So we will see, of course, him here again. Some mutes going down. Pretty standard setup so far here on Couch.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good defensive setup. Suns, Bandit, you don't want to put the shock wires down. It's just too predictable. But with the introduction of Kaid into Challenger League seasons, and Nomad, but Kaid in this circumstance, is you don't have to be directly present to trick. You can now do it at a safe distance. You put your mutes down for initial delay, and then you try to Kaid trick. However, what we see OC setting up is the Maverick feature, glitch, whatever you want to call it, where he's going to open up above in a straight line, and then he's going to open up below, and it'll turn this wall soft. But because the Buck had quote-unquote opened that soft wall, it's just going to fall apart as soon as Maverick makes a straight line below. We do see a heavy push into Church, which is not something OC were doing in paying attention to both CCTV wall and the construction push. This so far is well organized from Scylla's Guerrillas, but execution matters.
I want to touch on what you said about the wall, and you're absolutely right about that. The thing that's weird about it is, of course, the Maverick can only hit the bottom of that wall upside down on rappel. So getting the top portion first, meaning that you have to rappel upside down, go all the way to the bottom, means that when that wall gets opened up, when you hit that line, you're actually upside down and exposed to that wall getting opened up. So kind of the opposite of how I'd like to do it. And oh, Art, he'll peek up, he'll see somebody, but not get the bullet off. He'll squat right back down. And now 3 of SG in construction. They're wasting a lot of time here. They still have plenty of time to work, but with 5-5, it could potentially be a bloodbath if they wait too much longer. Smoke number 1 will come out, is not loading, will pick up 1. Bolts with the immediate refrag on a temper. Gurmy gone as well, and up through the floor, not loading. He'll find a second onto Art, and 2 huge kills, Smoke, and those denying smokes. But Oasis, just an easy kill right from the hole. No contention whatsoever. Very unfortunate. And some shots from Mex on that glass will go down, getting Oasis 2v3. Very, very, very winnable for both of these sides. We got the Yokai drone still. Bolts will hold an angle onto the doorway, get an easy pickup. Mex, he'll find his 3rd of the round with that glass. Here comes a diffuser. He'll look up, he'll see the Yokai, he'll take it off. There's no denying it now. Can you find it through the floor? No, the bullets will just miss. The diffuser will go down, and now Fultz in a very difficult retake situation. He's going to have to come up these stairs, or he's going to have to take all the time to go around Garage. And Mex, he'll hold that glass angle. Easy kill for him. Even Yokai, even stun. SG will take a very good win upstairs to bring it to, what is it, 5-3 now?
Yeah. So, that was a really, really well executed. I don't know why I started it. That was a really, really well executed push from SG, both which opening up CCTV wall, computer wall, opening that up, and then with the push from construction. That was what OC should have done in their last with their last CCTV push, where they just left that wall clean open, and we saw how many defenders relied on that CCTV area. And here, with the defenders displaced, and then even furthermore with not loading, starting to displace defenders inside of A, that was just really, really well executed by SG. And again, these top floor defensive sites are only going to be hard for defenders, because it does not matter if you bring Bandit. It does not matter, really, if you bring Kaid. You can't trick the wall. You can't impact trick the wall. It's just open for the most part. And that's entirely because of Maverick. I've mentioned it 1,000 times, and I will continue to until I am proven wrong. But through the 8 rounds, I am so far correct. Maverick is making such a difference for these attackers onto the second floor sites.
Correct indeed.
Correct.
Oh, and a spawn peak will get Abunai down to about half health. It will not kill anybody. Merc, he'll back up. He'll decide to get up onto the gangplank, or whatever your preferred way of describing the upper tier of Garage may be. Looks like they'll go for the same thing again. They'll get that soft piece of the wall pre-opened up. Got the Maverick placed on outside, and the glass Mex been making a big difference. And that's why you see glass banned so often, is because even after the buffs and nerfs, he can still see through smoke. He's still got that nice zoom, and each bullet does a heck of a lot of damage. He'll drop down, see if he can get a quick scope onto somebody nearby, but nope, he won't find anybody. Drone at his feet. Active intel will be by the second here for Mex as he makes his push over towards construction.
SG are already choking out OC, and we see them take advantage of it here with Abunai opening things up with onto Oasis. And this is literally just a masterful choke right now from SG, and not a lot of it's predicated on winning gunfights, quote unquote. They're just simply outplaying OC for the time being. Of course, there is one roamer, and a lot of OC's hopes rely on how well Gurmy, if Gurmy can pick up 2, then things look a little bit different, and he's in prime position to do so, but with only so many bullets on that SMG-11, it's going to be rough, and he misses all of them. The last defender in Gurmy will take out that glass, but a little bit too little too late, don't you think, in this 1v4, as he hopes to fight things out with the planter going down. However, that planter pretty much right in front of Gurmy. Nope, loading though, covering the plant. SG take round number 9. I have to imagine we're going to go back to defense. I'm sorry, into church. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm still a little bit stunned by Abunai and that beautiful flick with the LG. That was crazy. And then, of course, we turn right over. We see Gurmy biff it on the SMG-11, which, you know what? I'm not going to blame him, right? That biff is probably me with an SMG-11 on my best day. So, but unfortunately, you got to hit the shots at this level. And ladies and gentlemen, SG, after being down, I believe 4-1 at one point, is now sitting at 5-4. And we're seeing a very, very high success rate on attack. Something that I wouldn't have ever predicted. I don't think anybody out there would have ever predicted. Of course, we talk about the Maverick. Okay, we get it. Man pants, we get it. The Maverick is fantastic on this map in particular.
I'm right!
But, yeah, absolutely. I'm giving that to you. But SG, I've just seen them, I don't know, flip a switch. They've just been playing extremely well. And we saw perfect examples at one of the, I guess, most forthcoming reason why they found so much success at the end of that last round. Not just at the end of that last round, but at the last few rounds of this matchup. And that's they've been winning gunfights like crazy. I haven't seen SG play scared yet, even down by several rounds. And now that they're hitting their shots, they've become dangerous. And here we are, one round away from tying it up with the #1, the undefeated, the seemingly untouchable OC.
So, I mean, you just mentioned it, where they're winning gunfights, and I would say kind of on the contrary. It's been a lot of SG just simply outplaying OC in terms of positioning, strategy, execution. As far as the attacking phase goes, of course, they were down 2-4 on defense, but a lot of SG's kills have just simply come from, hey, I see you, you haven't fired a shot at me, and now you're dead. So that's that story, I guess, but that has been pretty much the story of these defending rounds from OC. And we do see Abanai ready to push in, but he'll be greeted by Gurmi, who is taken so very low, and unfortunate for Art as he took the retreating Legion off his feet and into the graveyard. We do see Merc very, very low himself, and this is not the kind of fight you want if you're Art. You do not want to go up against that LMG with only your shotgun. And we see so many members of SG just start to push up. Art peeks around the corner to no avail, and it'll be Abanai spraying and praying to the best of his abilities. Art goes prone and takes out 2, but Nugs is there for the refrag as well as Temper, as they have brute forced their way into Arsenal. And be Fultz and Merc on a retake to prevent the plant, but no, it'll be Fultz and Merc on the retake to win out the round. But with the plant down, this is not looking so hot. Mex manages to refrag, so it'll be all up to the Brit. Will Fultz manage to pull a rabbit out of the hat? It's going to be tough, especially when you're going up against that OTS. And sure enough, the OTS will finish things off. Mex goes absolutely nuclear on this Glaz anytime he has it in his hands.
Mex has been the backbone of SG on this comeback rally. Period. He's just doing fantastic. I have to back up a little bit. Abanai, you can't lose that. He did such a fantastic job. He pushed up into tunnel and he pre-fired. And with that LNG, he pre-fired for about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years, just straight without running out of ammo. And he did that. He got him down. He caused that TK. Fantastic job. I even agreed with the push up onto, I believe it was Merc who was there in the tunnel.
Art.
I agree with that too. Oh, is it Art? Yeah. But he just, you can't do that. Thankfully,
shout out to the drop shot.
Yeah, the rest of SG did fantastic, including Mex, who I believe, quote by Man Pants Live, went nuclear. So a great job. The Glaz and the utilization of Glaz that we've seen from SG is the reason why at one point we saw SG down 4-1, but now we see him at 5-5 because they've switched over to attack. And look at him sitting atop the leaderboard, 13 kills. You know, Fultz, when we were in round 8, Fultz, the top fragger on OC, was already at 12 kills at round number 8. Okay, here we are going into round 11. He has not been able to add to his kill count. And of course, kills, not the most important thing in the world. Everybody knows that, especially at this level of competition. But as the fragger of the team, we would have expected him to be contributing. Unfortunately, not so, and SG is taking every little inch that OC gives them, and they're running away with it. So fantastic job by them. Still a lot of siege left. Nobody quite yet on match point. Here we go, round number 11.
And something we're not too accustomed to seeing is Merc very low on the frag count. I mean, 4 and 10 right now, that is not at all Merc-esque, where a man that has fragged out time and time again and been the lead fragger on his team on multiple occasions to be so low might be a large contributing story right now as to why we're seeing this evened up scoreline. And earlier on, we saw Abanai switch from the Capets out over to the Fuse. Yeah, it's
I missed that
it's
completely.
legit. Dude, Fuse has the best guns in the game, straight up. But regardless, though, bringing the Fuse in general is troll enough. I mean, when you know you're attacking church, it certainly aids your decision making in that sense. But still, I like to see it, but it's just so what the heck.
Especially after you rally back, what are you thinking? Oasis, he'll get the first kill on the Mex. We just talked about how important. We just spent like a minute talking about how important Mex and that Glass has been for the comeback of SC so far. And actually, we'll see a drop, I believe, down the kitchen hatch. Nope, we will not. He stood right above. Oh, the hatch isn't open yet, so he stood on top of the hatch. I thought he was about to go down. Then we saw a camera change. Anyway, Glass is gone. Fuse, and you're right, Fuse does have good guns, but one of them is not paired with the shield. That I can guarantee you. And we got a Fuse shit. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? We were down so much. We're down in rankings. We're making it a game with OC right now, and Fuse shield is the pick. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, perhaps I'll eat my words later on in this round, but there's only about 50 seconds left. They're down a man. No near sight control. Sure, they're working their hatches, but man, there is a lot of work cut out for them, and a lot of weak players, including Sledge with about 5 health here on the side of SG. Now, Oasis, he'll creep down the stairs, but nope, Nugs will be ready for it on the flank watch. And then he'll go back to harassing people down into church, throwing utility. Here comes the smokes, and there will be 3 smokes that can hold out for just about all this time. Right when I say it, Abadai, he'll gun one down. Fultz will refrag, and a flurry of kills will come out. OC will be 1 on top, though. It's a 2v1 now, and here comes that Sledge we talked about with about 5 health early. It looks like he got reset back to 20, but only 10 seconds. He's going to have to push. He'll go in. He'll decide to try and put the diffuser down. Unfortunately, he'll get stuck in the animation, pulling off. Merc, he'll clean that up. And OC, after losing several straight, will find one, and an important one, too, because now OC match point.
So it's match point going to the second floor. Granted, that's just going to be difficult in and of itself. So more than likely, I might be at stake here. But so you know, Game of Thrones is coming out this weekend, right?
No, I've never heard of that. What is that?
Okay, the battle for that kitchen hatch was as epic, if not more epic, than the battle for Winterfell. There were so many back and forth explosions, tricks, anything. That was as epic of a battle for one hatch as I have yet to see. There were 5 stun grenades, 2 frag grenades, 2 exothermic charges, 2 impacts, a smoke at some point just to get that hatch open. That was freaking dope. This is not a relevant point at all, mind you. This is not going to aid our conversation at all.
He's just excited for Game of Thrones, folks. He's just excited.
That was super sick. That was really cool. That was such an intense battle for Kitchen Hatch. Something that, like, granted, Kitchen Hatch is more often than not, you know, you bring Habana, you fire one X-Scaros, it gets impacted, you fire another impacted, you fire another, and you finally open it. You don't see it like that ever. That was as
intense.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
was
and there was a lot of, like, they kept throwing bodies at it too.
Game of Thrones this Sunday. It's important.
I don't think there's anybody on Earth that doesn't know that by now.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is gonna be a good month, man. It's gonna be a good month. Anyway, the final round of this matchup, SG versus OC, is underway, and we talked about this. SG, despite being 1-1-6, put up such a big fight time and time again. And if they lose here, that will mean that almost half of their matches have gone 5-7 the wrong way. It's just so rough if you're SG, and again, they put up such a good fight.
Let's not call it before it's over.
Gotta
Let's
finish!
not call it before it's over, okay? Still 5 men up. There's still over 2 minutes left. I gotta tell you, I cannot decide if I think this Frost pick is genius or crazy. I can't decide yet. We'll have to see how effective it is.
It's Gurmy doing Gurmy things.
Yeah, when year 4 came out, they kind of released a bunch of cool, them being Ubisoft, they released a bunch of cool information, just like random statistics. And one of those statistics was the effectiveness. Oh, Fultz, he'll open things up on the not loading. So perhaps, my friend, your premonition may come true. But anyway, they showed the effectiveness of frost traps on players, and it was kind of like a parabola, like an upside down parabola, where the diamond players was actually super effective on, gold, high, silver, not so much, and then bronze, copper it was. So I'm not sure if that translates over to high level play, but certainly we don't see frost very often, so perhaps it would follow the same path. But here we go. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. A man down. Temper, he'll even things up, though. And the hatch will drop. But no, I think he hit a frost trap. Unfortunate. And Gurmy will get finished. I'm not sure. Is he still down? I cannot tell, but 2 defenders. Yes, he is. So Glaz is stuck in a frost trap right now. It's effectively a 3v3. Still a minute left. Tons of time. Fultz, he'll finish off that. No, he won't finish off the down player. He'll finish off one of the alive players. But meanwhile, the Glaz will get picked up. Glaz, he'll have to duke it out. Fultz, he'll go down on the stairs. Nugs, 2v3 now. 2 extremely weak players on the side of SG. But they still have that scope, that beautiful see through the smoke scope. Mutant Castle still full health on the side of the defense. But the attackers, they're closing in. Art, he'll find one. Mex, he'll refrag, though. An extremely important one. 1v2. Art, full health. He'll be sneaking around. 26 seconds left. They're going to have to go through the plant pretty soon. He'll pop a smoke, see if he can see anything through it. But they do not. Art playing in 90. The angle's being held. Can they find him? They might have to go for the plant. It's a very winnable situation if they are forced to do that. Art, he'll find one. The plant will be forced to pull off. He'll turn the corner with the... And no, Art with the clutch. Fantastic job. And unfortunately, the last man standing, the Glaz, couldn't take that fight up close. Had to pull out the pistol. There's no winning with the shotgun. And 7-5. You can call that the caster's curse, ladies and gentlemen. Because Man Pants called it.
Oh,
and OC,
no. 5-7, no.
He'll take the victory here.
Oh,
fantastic
my goodness. That is not the play, man. Oh, God. Wow. Oh, you had the 2v1. All you needed to do was refrag, position well enough, and unfortunately just never came to fruition. And that's Scylla's Guerrillas falling to OC 5-7. So that'll put Scylla's Guerrillas 1-1-7 on the season with still 4 points. And OC will continue to be your #1 spot at 23 points. The next closest is Disrupt with 14. Granted, Disrupt have yet to play. OC have played another game. Yada, yada, yada. My point is, though, 7-2 for OC. And despite how hard that matchup was, they pulled it out. I mean, the better team standings-wise came out ahead. And, oh, man, that was a thriller of an ending. Whew.
That it was.
But OC, again, 23 points now on the season, 7-2. Scylla's Guerrillas, I don't know what just happened to my voice. Scylla's Guerrillas will fall 1-1-7 now with 4 points. Now, we are hoping to kick it right into a break so we can bring you the next match. We want to waste no time. Again, coming up here is Disrupt versus Elevate. So we will be with you soon. Again, I am Jared Madpants Live Robinson. Co-caster is Chris Titangles. Not Stokes, not Corn Pop. Way more cuter. The lovely
More
man
cuter
himself.
than Stokes.
More cuter.
He said it, not me. Okay.
Our producer, also Crater, and our observer Keglanek. Thank you, everyone. who is here currently. And do not forget that the other matches always go on simultaneously as this one over at Rainbow6, 6 spelled out, _UK. And that over on the other side is Vicious Gaming's Versonics. Not sure if they wrapped up, but they have Our Bad vs Toon Squad coming up. We have Disrupt vs Elevate. Quick break.